All right, folks, it is July 17th, 2024, and it's time for us to talk about all kinds of things going on in the world, including the RNC convention, which is in day two of its 4 day convention. I did watch just a tad of it yesterday and saw that Laura Trump was heaping all kinds of praises on her father in law, and she is the co chair of the RNC. And definitely there was, I think, one other one that I heard bits of as well, but definitely she was heaping praise on her father-in-law and saying that this was a different speech than she was intending to do because of the incident that happened on Saturday with the assassination attempt and all along those lines. But definitely it was interesting. And like I said, I think today J.D. Vance is supposed to be speaking. Oh, I know who the other one I heard a little bit of was Marco Rubio. And all along those lines. So definitely that was interesting. And it was interesting to hear what he had to say. And of course, he was dealing some with the border security and things in that space, and just kind of interesting to hear a little bit of that as well. And then I heard some of the other ones, including apparently the person that is running for West Virginia and running for the mansion seat brought his pig out there. So apparently a pig was out there. And then as Stephen Colbert was saying, there was a whole lot of cowboy hats out there as well. And that's not necessarily something that Milwaukee is known for, but these are people from all over the country. And apparently there was a whole lot of cowboy hats out there by various people. So we had cowboy hats, we had pigs, and we had various speeches as well. So I did catch a little bit of that. And I know J.D. Vance, I believe, is speaking today. And then on to tomorrow, we'll see Trump give his speech, and then we'll see how this all goes. And then next month, we'll have the DNC, the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. So, and I guess they're still trying to have conversations as to whether they will keep Biden on the ticket or not keep Biden on the ticket, and all along those lines. So it should be quite interesting to see how this all goes on and in that kind of space. Let me tell you about some other things going on in the world. 6 were found dead in a Bangkok hotel where people were poisoned with cyanide. That's right, you heard me right. Cyanide poisoning likely killed 6 found dead in a luxury hotel, including 2 U.S. citizens, according to Thai police. So it looks like the people that died were folks that were American and Vietnamese. So that is who they found that had been killed by this cyanide poisoning. And King Charles III unveiled the new Labor government plan to turbocharge their economy in the King's speech. You know, the King gets his speech, and all along those lines, that's definitely something that is going on that way. So they had the opening of the new parliament there in UK and all the pomp and circumstances that goes with that. So we'll see how this all plays out as well. And if you thought we were the only ones having hot weather, you're actually wrong, because there's a lot of hot weather in other parts of the world as well, and not just some of the hot weather that some people may be thinking is coming from the politicians. But they're saying that it's hell outside, it's sizzling heat wave in parts of southern and central Europe that have prompted some alerts in that area, because it's hellishly hot southern Europe that is baking under temperatures topping 104 degrees. So it is definitely hot in that part of the world as well. And Israel has bombed the 6th UN-run school in Gaza in 10 days, and they've killed dozens over there. So definitely looks like they might have hit another UN building. And definitely the IDF says airstrikes hit the Hamas cell at the UN school. Islamic Jihad commander Palestinians say 22 were killed, including civilians. So we'll see what this all goes and how this plays out in that particular war, because they're saying that U.S.-made munitions were used in that particular Israeli strike. And like I was telling Kim before getting on the air and everything, we were talking about the cocaine that was in the bananas, and I believe that was in a shipment of bananas. But, you know, this is a problem because it's coming from various parts of Latin America, and apparently 4 tons of cocaine were found hidden in sugar in the biggest bust in Paraguay's history. So there's definitely some things going on in there. Folks are finding different and unique ways to get their drug shipments around the world. And this time it was sugar that they were using. And to find folks in Paraguay, law enforcement found a way to deal with that. And it looks like Bangladesh students defied orders and occupied universities as tensions spiral. So the universities that are having students protest aren't just here in the U.S. and in maybe some of the Western countries, but it's also in some of the Asian ones as well, because it's deadly unrest over the job quotas, and that is gripping Bangladesh. So Bangladesh has deployed border forces to try to quell the student protests. So that's really that folks are upset about because I guess they've got some job quotas. It's what kind of jobs they can have and all along those lines. So it'll be very interesting to see how this all goes and what happens in that response. And of course, people are still trying to figure out which direction France is going because definitely the elections there were taking place as well. And French Greens leader Tondelaire has urged the end to left wing infighting over the prime minister pick. So they're trying to figure out who's going to be running in their country as well. And ISIS is claiming a responsibility for that deadly attack that we reported on yesterday on the mosque in Oman. So the ISIS folks, the Islamic State, claims responsibility for the rare attack at a Shiite Muslim mosque in Oman. So that one killed 6 and wounded dozens more at that particular mosque. And of course, we looks like we might be having a new missile race between the U.S. and Russia. And no matter who the president is, I guess they'll have to deal with that as well. And in Oman, Oman says an oil tanker's entire crew is missing after their ship capsized off the coast. So 13 Indians are among the 16 crew members missing after the oil tanker capsized off of Oman. So that is something else going on as well. And a rarely seen Amazon tribe emerges from the rainforest as loggers are moving in. So definitely looks like uncontacted Amazon tribe is photographed in an unusual sighting near a logging area. So they might have been having them place and quiet where they were at, but now that the loggers are coming in, it is forcing them to come out and everything. So definitely there was even a rare video, like I said, of the uncontacted tribe showing members leaving the Amazon rainforest amid a humanitarian disaster. So definitely we'll see how this all goes on. And coming back to the Middle East, Nasrallah is threatening to fire rockets at Israeli areas not yet targeted by Hezbollah. So Hezbollah says it will target new communities if Israel continues to target civilians in Lebanon. So that looks like there could be some escalation there as well. And the Kenyan serial killer mystery. So definitely looks like that is still going on. So they're wondering if a serial killer is behind Kenya's dismembered bodies. So definitely it looks like they have arrested the suspected serial killer of 42 women. So we're going to see how this all plays out in trials and in that space. And a victory for opponents of female genital mutilation in the Gambia. So that looks like something is going on. So the parliament rejected the bill seeking to end the ban. So definitely a lot of people are glad on that as the Gambia votes to keep the ban on female genitalia cuttings. So definitely we'll see how this all plays out as well. So let me get to some of the U.S. news, and then I'll bring in the panelists. I saw that I had Rick Rosner, and I have others as well. Top House Republicans are pushing for Vivek Ramaswamy, who, by the way, was one of the other speakers, but I did not hear him speak on it yesterday, to replace J.D. Vance in the Senate. So that's something that people are looking at. And of course, we did have Nikki Haley and DeSantis show that their support behind the Trump campaign and the Trump candidacy for president as well. So it looks like they both came on there and were letting him know that they have his support as well. So definitely two of his biggest rivals were out there letting him know that they were behind him and will be trying to push him into a return trip to the White House. And we'll see whether that support helps them, hurts them, or how it all goes on. And tornadoes and storms ravage Rome and Canandaigua in upstate New York. So it looks like there was some storm debris there and everything. So it looks like they were hit in that part of New York. So definitely a lot of things that are going on in that way. And a California school district is suing Gavin Newsom over new gender identity law. So California Governor Gavin Newsom has signed a bill banning schools from notifying parents of the child's identity and all along those lines. So the California law ban forced outing parental notice policies when a student switches pronouns. So apparently there's some folks that are suing him on that because it looks like he signed that bill banning schools from notifying parents about the student's gender identity. And I guess there's some parents that are concerned about that because they would like